Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. So, this is a long awaited project. I asked a while ago if you guys thought it would be a fun project to recreate the artwork from the January cover, February cover from the idea book, but maybe pick a different collection. So today I'm going to try my hand at recreating it with hope and kindness. So just let me put you down on my desk here, or add my desk at least. And I'm going to share this over into my groups and then we'll get started. So down on my table here, I actually tried to find my cover, my actual idea book. Hey, Cynthia. And it's in a pile somewhere apparently, and I couldn't come across it. So I do have a printout. So for whoever doesn't remember, this is what the cover looked like for the idea book. And it was just one sweet little photo and then these wonky little triangles. So like I said, I thought it would be fun to try and recreate it with hope and kindness. So just let me share this and then we'll get started. So I did pick a photograph. So I think you guys, if you saw my post earlier, so I am going to use this photograph, and I printed it and matted it, and I've cut out my diamonds. So that's as far as I've gotten, so that you guys can watch the actual way I'm going to break it down to create something similar. So we're going to have a hard time when we do the background because it is a piece of white daisy cardstock, and we all know that my camera does not technically like that very much. Hey Tammy and Tara, when that happens, but we're going to try our best. So it's obviously not going to be exact because we're working with totally different collection. And I grabbed a whole pile of stuff to kind of give me some different textures and stuff along the way. Let me just share it. And then we are good to go. Okay, so now I can make this smaller so that if I need anything, I can see. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put you down on my desk now so you can see everything bigger. As we break this down. So I'll just make myself really small up here in the corner so I could still see myself. But this I want to talk to you about. Okay. So like I said, here is kind of what we're doing. So on the Close to My Heart blog, they did actually post the size of the diamonds because I think they got so many questions about it. So I just cut my diamonds exactly the same size as they noted. So they're down here. And like I said, I just picked different patterns from Hope and Kindness. So whoever hasn't seen, it's the May special from Close to My Heart for National Scrapbooking Month. So this is as far as I've kind of gotten. So I've made myself, like I said, my photo printed. I think I'm going to use this. So this collection is fun. Good morning, Pauline. Because it has some cut aparts in it again that aren't completely separate like a PML pack, right? So they're pattern on one side. So you can see I actually use this pattern here for my diamonds. So if you don't have the Cricut collection that this is from, look for a diamond shape that like lots of thin cuts come and have the diamond shape. But sorry, I'll go back to the cut apart. So there's a few sheets that have cut aparts that are 3 1/4 or 3 by 4 or 4 by 6, and they're full sheets. So this is another example here. So this is the configuration I picked for my diamonds. Hopefully they don't get shoved around too much in the process. I do have a couple extras if I messed up, But so I picked a combination of the pattern papers and some of the specialty cardstock. And the cardstock from this package is so fun because it is the same weight as our regular paper, maybe just, no, I would say it's the same weight as our regular paper, but it's got printed texture. So one side looks more like a canvas and the other side is like a painted swoop kind of look. So this is how we're gonna start this thing. Like I said, I cut out, I have extras. I have some stickers. I have a few zip strips, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna break this down first. Like I said, first thing I did was configure my triangles, or diamonds, triangles. They're diamonds, wonky diamonds, but they're diamonds, so that they are, I think I'm missing one right here. So I wanted them so that I didn't have any back to back, like beside each other. So I wonder if I just picked it up here by accident. Well, that's okay. Like I said, I have extras, so when we come to it, we can add in here, and I think this one works. So, but depending on, once I get my stuff down on my page, I might have to move some of them around. I think it's, Tara, I think it's going to be super pretty. Because some of my colors might clash depending on how I throw my stickers in, etc. Okay, so I'm just going to move this to the side. Okay, so the first thing you can see here is they've splattered the background. I do believe this is watercolor. We're not going to splatter with watercolor because I love just splatter with shimmer brushes, because I get two things, right? I get, does my camera look crooked there? I get two things happening. I get this little bit of sparkle from the shimmer brush, and I get kind of another texture almost. My wood grain looks super crooked. There we go. It's not, because it's straight on the desk, so it's got to be the camera. Okay, so we are going to splatter on my super messy all-purpose mat, and like I said, I've got White Daisy cardstock here. You could also just pick a cardstock background that's not white, but I wanted to keep kind of as close as possible, but switch it out totally for a new collection. Okay, so I grabbed my Desert Rose shimmer brush, which I have not actually opened yet. So we're gonna do a really quick recap on shimmer brushes. The new ones, this must not be a really new one. The new ones have their names on the cap. This one doesn't, so I'm going to save that. I'm going to put this here for a second. I'm going to cut up that label and put it on here, or I'll just use my label maker, okay? So remember, you have to take your little safety stopper off. And it works just like the old-fashioned calligraphy brushes. So when you screw the lid into the bottom, you're going to basically break the seal and start the flow of ink. So make sure that you spin it back all the way down. And I'm shaking it up because I want the glitter spread out. I'm going to see if I could do this without making too much of a mess. Because in here, there's glitter mixed with your color. So you want to make sure that it's all flowing. Okay, and so you can see I haven't started it yet. The brush is still hard. So I'm just going to, I'm going to grab a block. And I'm pushing where it says push, not super complicated. And that will start the flow of ink. So I'm just doing splatter, so I don't need a ton of it. So we might lose focus. I'll see if I leave that there. So I'm just picking up the Desert Rose. And I'm going to splatter it on my White Daisy background. And I don't need it to be, I'm just going to flip that over, which is probably not helpful for the white balance, but whatever. I don't need Desert Rose shimmer brush all over my photo too. So there's tons of colors, tons of other shimmer brushes you could use. You could use Harbor, you could use Toffee would look good. I just thought, well, I hadn't actually opened Desert Rose yet, so this was kind of a prime opportunity. Don't forget, I always store mine like this so that I don't get extra ink just lying around or sitting in the bristles of the brush. And when you open it, make sure that it's tight before you pull off the cap or you're going to have a super big accident. Okay, so I'm just going to put that up here. I'm going to grab a baby wipe though. And it'll just take a few seconds to dry and we'll start adding stuff on there. So like I said, I have paper here, I have stickers, I did a little bit of fussy cutting just for a few seconds before I started. One of the pieces of paper has a really pretty floral, which I'll show you guys in a second. And so I just had like a square left over from another project, and so I cut out some flowers so that you can see them right here. And so I even used the ones that like weren't perfectly, they were on the edge, because you can always like tuck them in underneath, right? So hey Sarah. Okay, so this, and then there is craft shapes that also go with it. Mine are all sitting in the bottom of the bag here, but they're perfect for tucking in pieces. So they're craft die cuts, and some of them have a little bit of white on them as an accent, so we could tuck some of those in. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to add my zip strip and my shimmer onto this first, and then we will add the diamonds. Okay, so there's one at the top and one at the bottom here, right? So we'll put that right there so you guys can see. So the other thing I want to just point out too, so this graphic is actually like a push out from the cover, from the 12 by 12 layout, right? But I actually also quite like this. You could totally use the same thing and shrink it down and have a nice border around the outside, right? So this is just mint around the outside. Let's say that's 12 by 12. You could use an 11 by 11 frame. This is also probably only 1/4 inch, but I'm using zip strips at the top and bottom. And then I'm going to use some Desert Rose glitter paper, and so you could totally cut this zip strip down if you wanted it smaller. So I'm just going to add one at the bottom, and I know I have a little bit of extra there. I'm going to cover it up with my shimmer trim. I have a little bit extra on the top too. So you could, if you want something smaller, slice these in half, or you can just cover it up. So I did, okay. So I just wanted to talk to you about this for a second. So I have Desert Rose glitter paper, and that's what I'm going to use as my skinny piece. But I actually use the adhesive sheets on it. So lots of times when I know I'm going to use glitter paper, I'll take a piece of the adhesive sheet. So in this case, I cut out a piece that was 4 inches, and I added it to the back of my glitter paper. And so I will use it again and again. Oh, I put it underneath here maybe? Yeah, here it is. So it's on the back of a big piece here, right? You can see it's got adhesive sheet up to here because it's more than I needed. So I'll just keep this on the top layer of my bag so that I know I have it there, because it's perfect for cutting out those skinny little pieces and then just pulling the adhesive off. So when you pull the backing off, it gives you this waxy piece of paper. So I keep this and I throw it in with like my leftover plastic bags and stuff. And then I can use it if I want to put like a puddle of glue down. And then you can just, like, the glue moves nicely on the waxy paper, and you could just pick it up and throw it in the garbage at the end. Okay, I'm just going to grab my piercing tool. So it's got two waxy pieces, right? But I'm not going to save that little strip. So now I can easily cover up that little trim. If I wanted less of a border, I could also just cover it up just like that. But I think I'm going to keep the whole 1/2 inch of the zip strip. Okay, so there's one on the top. Here's another zip strip I think I might use with the little hearts. And one of the fun pieces from this also has like border strips on it. So those will be fun to tuck into places too. So they're kind of like a little bit of a, wider zip strip, right? So they got to put some fun little condensed patterns on them that you might not want a full sheet of paper of, but they're kind of a little bit fun. Okay, so here we go. This is what we've got so far. This is one of the 3x4 cards, and I thought it played up the diamond shape nicely, so I think I'm going to trim this out as my title. Here is my photo. That's going over there. This is going over here. Okay, so maybe I'll put this under here so you guys can still see it over there. So on the blog post, if I remember correctly, it said the diamonds were 1 inch from the top and 1 3/4 in from the side. So that's how we're going to start this. So we'll set in the first row. So my inch at the top is right there. Of course, I have everything on my Versamat, so I can't use that as my ruler. I could actually stand up and go get another Versamat. But okay, so I'm gonna lay all of these in and make sure that I don't need to tweak them or move them around, but that's how we're gonna start, okay? And they're quite tight, like they're actually touching. So, and we've got a row of 4 and then a row of 3 and then a row of 4 all the way down for, just see here. Okay, I don't know already. I don't know that I like all of those cardstock ones across the top, but let's just see here. So this is one of the ones that's got the cut apart on it. But the second you start moving one around, then you have to kind of play with all of them. So let's just see. I kind of want a pattern maybe up there. So, but let's lay them in and then I'll see. So I cut, I think, 4 of each, just so that I would have extras. And then I do have, so I cut 2 little hearts that are going to go on top of each other. And this is in that desert. So this is the back side of this Sundance piece. It's this little pretty desert rose that's got florals on it. I also could have picked more patterns to put in the background because there are, like, it's a big paper pack, so there's lots of patterns. But I also didn't want too many patterns to distract. Plus, you have to remember, I'm gonna put everything down on top too. So let's just see. I just want to make sure that I have my spacing right before I start moving things around. Okay, because I need to come up. My spacing this way looks fine, but I need to move up just a little bit, I think. So this is definitely not the fun part, but I think there. Oh, and I don't like that those two are right underneath each other. Okay, so there we go. Now we might have to move a few of them around. So this is bothering me already. So what if I go like this? Okay. So the other thing is, I don't know if you could see, probably not, but this is the 6-inch mark right here. So I know that that's where I want that to be. So I have 4, then 3, then 4, then 3, then 4, then 3. Okay, so I actually think that's okay. It is got a lot of harbor here, but lots of it, like I said, is going to get covered up. Okay, so I'm going to start by adhering this piece right here at the bottom because I know that is the middle. And you know what? I'm going to now lift this up onto my Versamat very carefully so that I can use the measurements that I have going on. So there we go. So kind of a fun little change up. This little daisy print on the back too, I did consider using it too because it is super sweet. But I pulled in the vines with the pale pink on the back. Okay, so now this should all just fit together like a puzzle. Now that I have it, the bottom row in. It's kind of enough to make you go cross-eyed if you're not careful. I kind of feel like I'm like leaning because of the wonky diamonds shape. You could, like I said, totally do it with just a plain diamond too, which is a free shape in Cricut, right? So it has a feeling like a quilt, right? So here we go. So you know how most of the paper is two-sided, right? So this one is one of those ones with the cut apart. So I did know that I was going to use the dot for all of them, right? So I just kind of want to make sure that my middle section goes straight up. And it is nice because there is so much variety in with the extra papers in this paper pack that you kind of get a lot to choose from. So you could totally swap the papers out if you have different photographs. So I picked a total of 3 pattern papers, and then I have 3 of the textured cardstocks. So, and every once in a while, right, I'm just going to check that still the middle of my page is at the 6-inch mark. And like I said, I think it is because the shape is not a perfect shape that it kind of makes you feel like you're going crooked. It's like we had a thunderstorm here today. So I was serious when I said I would be here as long as we didn't lose power. We haven't had like a thunderstorm like that in a long time. Poor Emmy, I don't think she's really seen many thunderstorms. So she was like, as I was in the other room cutting with Cricut, she was like right at my knee. Okay, so this one too, I know it needs to be right at the 6-inch mark, right? So I'm just gonna tack it down. And then I can just double check that my point is good. And now when you look at the top and bottom, right, you can see that my spacing is better. So from the shimmer trim, I'm about, I think, a quarter of an inch. I've got lots of rulers here just in case. Okay, now we are getting somewhere. The hardest part is just getting the background in, right? And then everything just kind of, like I said, it feels like filling in like kind of like a puzzle. Okay. Almost done. Okay, last one. So sitting beside me on my little table over here, I have all the extra parts and pieces here. So, okay, and then this is our inspiration, right? So we're going to pull some of the things out of here, right? So we want our photograph almost right there. Like I said, I'm thinking of using this as my title, but I think I'm going to trim around it. So I'm actually going to use my trimmer. I was going to use this sticker, and then I thought, oh, well, this one is just right here, and it's kind of another fun shape to add on there. So and I did actually think about adding ink to the edges, but I would have done that beforehand to kind of bring everything together. Okay, so because I was kind of thinking that fits nicely right there for my title. So then they have like a cluster right here. Oh, okay, so I did enlarge my photo. So this has got to be a 3x4 photo, and mine is a 4x4 photo. I wanted a bigger photo. So then I wanted a journaling spot. So like I said, I've grabbed this card, and I might just... I was going to cut it, but I think I might keep this underneath here. I'm going to actually add 3D foam tape onto this because I know already I'm going to tuck things underneath. So like I said, I think I have 4 extras because I said I cut, I think, 4 of each of the diamonds. So I do have a few left there if I wanted to use them. I also did consider using one of the stickers. I was gonna maybe use this one, but I thought it might be funny with that kind of shape on there already. So that's why I'm going with the, like the cut up card. So I'm not going to take the backing off my foam tape yet. Okay, so I have that. And then, like I said, there is this piece of paper right here with the large florals. And I just had a scrap of it. So I did cut up some of those. So I do have them sitting here. So but I have also these 2 hearts. And I want to put them one on top of each other. So I cut them just a little bit smaller than each other. So I'm just going to fold them in half like that, and I'm going to adhere them together with just a little bit of liquid glass, and I'll let it dry while we do some other things here. And I do have this zip strip, which I thought was kind of perfect. So I'm just gonna trim this little edge off before I forget. Then we'll glue those two hearts together in the middle. Okay, so we're just gonna lay this down there for right now. Okay, and then I'm going to use my bone folder. And I'm just gonna fold them in half. I just want to get a little bit of dimension in a few spots. So now I'm just gonna run a really thin strip of liquid glass there on my fold, and then I can line the two of them up. So this top one is obviously smaller, so I'm not going all the way to the top and bottom. I'm just leaving a little bit of a border there at the top and bottom, but I can just line them up on the fold just like that. Okay, and then when I go to adhere it, I can even add just a little bit of 3D foam tape under there. So I'm just going to let that dry though before we position that. Okay, so then let's see here. I've got some stickers. Oh, and I have this card. So this is another one of the PML cards, and I thought about using it as a layer under here. I think I just need to decide if I want to trim some off the bottom. So I want like kind of all of those layers to show. That's what I liked about this card. Let's just see if they'll maybe. I think I'm going to put the date down there. I even cut out these little teeny tiny flowers because I thought they were a fun little thing that I could kind of like sprinkle onto the background into certain spots. So I want this to show on the bottom there. So then let's grab. So you guys have seen me do it before. I take the white backing off of the sticker, or front, I guess you would call it, over the waxy backing. So you can see how the real size of the stickers, and you can kind of test your stickers to see if that's what you want to do. So I don't know that that's what I want to do, but we're going to lay that in there for a second. I think I want that one, and I want this little sticker that says love here. I'll put that somewhere, and then I think I should bring the Sundance color in, because I have that paper one of the diamonds is Sundance. So I'm going to bring it in with the flowers. So that, because I've got lots of the other colors, right, in some of the other elements, but not a lot of that Sundance. So I want to make sure that I get that in somewhere. And this is the easiest way for me to do that. Okay. And then so now, like this is stuck down, I'm just going to add a little tiny piece of 3D foam behind the smaller heart to make the heart actually stay popped up. So you can see I'm just tucking a little piece in there. I'm wondering if I should swap out that card though for one that is just plain. So this is a strip from one of the papers where I use that polka dot on the back side. So I have only portions of this journaling box. So I wonder if I just tuck that in, how that would be. I could also have fussy cut these flowers too if I wanted. So I might save this big one, right? And I'm feeling like I'm going to trim this just a little bit. So I'm going to adhere this on here so I can tell how much I want to trim it down. So this is what I really want to show, is just that the lighter color at the top and then this nice strip down the bottom. So I'm just going to trim it off at about 5 inches. Okay, so we're going to start gluing things down. So, hey Sue, good morning. So like I said, my photo is 4 by 4. I do have a very 1/8 of an inch border just because I really like that white border around my photo, but not like the traditional like wider one. And then this is a piece of the craft paper that has the fun little stripe, and I thought it might just draw your eye to the picture. And then I do have just that same desert rose glitter paper with just a 1/8 of an inch border. So now I'm going to add my photo, and I'm just going to kind of want to make sure I get it straight. So There we go. And I'm not going to push it down, right? Because I know I still want to be tucking things underneath. So, and I'm going to push this right up to that other mat that, so like I said, it's just part of it, but you'd never actually know. But I can add a little bit more journaling on it that versus the other one, right? So this, I think is going to go down there. So because I didn't want to lose this part of that card, right? But really to journal on it, I would have to do this. So I would either have to cut that. So this one makes more sense. So I'm going to commit this sticker because it brings in all the colors, right? I like that. So if you want to actually just try out the sticker also and not tack it down, you can always just take the stickiness off of it with your anti-static pouch. But I'm pretty okay with it going there. So, and then I'm good with my title. Going right in here. Okay, and I think I'm going to tuck this under something here. And I'm gonna add something here. So my triangle is gonna kind of be like this. If you're looking for like my visual triangle, right? So I'm gonna do something here, and then just something little here. So it could even just be as little as that, right? Yes, I actually really like the angles, right? And that's why some of the things I'm doing, I'm looking for like round things so that they look a little bit different too on them. So I'm just trying to decide if I want to add something more. So like I said, I have little pieces here. And it just kind of brings in another texture. Oh, I know. We've got that one here that's got the cutoff that right because it was the edge of the piece of paper. I'm going to tuck that in right here. And let's see if that works like that. There we go. I like that. I can tell I'm going to run out of adhesive right away. So I'm going to pop this up also on 3D foam. Also, if I wanted to add more journaling, I could do journaling strips underneath here and just leave this card as just like a decorative element. And I might just do that. You guys, I might have to do it. I might just have to, yeah, diamond shape. I think I'm going to have to bring in some embellishing thread. And then I have sequins for adding to. So I'm just going to tuck a little tiny bit of embellishing thread into each of the clusters just for another texture. And then I'm going to add some gold sequins on with glue dots. I just need to finish this little cluster here. So I just have a length, right? And you can wrap it around your fingers as tight as you want it to be. This is extra, so I'm going to cut it off. I'm just going to add it right onto a glue dot. Okay, so I just lay it down on top of my glue dot. And one came undone. That's okay. It's supposed to look messy. If I'm worried about it coming undone, I can add another glue dot on top. And then I can just use my glue dot, right, to tuck it in. Oh, it got caught on my sticker. Okay, I'm going to add this one. So this is a piece of the paper, right? So I'm going to add it just on a thin foam tape because I have my title is popped up. Ooh, got like all crazy there. Is popped up on like 3D. So this is just a different layer, right? So, and it's the fun little daisies on the back. You could also add some more of the craft pieces in for another texture too, right? Because they just add just one more texture into each of the areas if you wanted. I'm just trying to decide if this flower is too big or not. I think this one's better. So if you wanted to just try, if I want to just try my sticker out, right, I can just take my anti-static pouch and now it's not sticky, right, and I can lay it in there. But I already know that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to add thin 3D foam tape to this one. And it just kind of adds more in this fun little cluster. I'm going to add my embellishing thread in there. So I have this piece right here. So the section where they all cross over, I can just lay it down onto my glue dot. And then use my glue dot to pick it up. So it is coming together. We're in the final stretch. See, and I like that even the outline of that journaling box you kind of get lots of different layers now of the flowers. Okay, so I think let's see if I can find a few hearts in here. So these come out super easy now from those the die cut sheets. So I'm just checking here to see this one with the little stitching, white stitching on it. It's really cute. Okay, so I have 2 of those. There's also a few little cut apart sheets there. They're one of the 3x4 cards. Okay, look at that. I have 3 little stitched hearts. So I can tuck one into each of the little clusters. Just like that. So I have to actually add my embellishing thread. So it's a good thing I was starting to say that. I'm kind of trying to repeat some of the things that I have in each cluster. So that's why, like, there's flowers in each cluster. There's the craft heart in each cluster. They don't actually have to be exactly the same. I just like the fact that they all had the white stitching detail. Then I've added the embellishing thread into each of the clusters. Okay, and I'm not going to put a very big amount there, so I just need a little piece. So, and these I will add probably just with a glue dot too. So probably could have used a bigger glue dot on these ones, but that's okay. Okay, my embellishing thread. And then, like I said, this is going to be a small one. So I'm just wrapping it around. Yeah, because it's another texture too, right? And it pulls in the craft from here too. And the craft from here too, right? Okay. I didn't stick this one down yet, did I? Okay, so now, oops. Which collection had the wonky diamond? Okay, that's a good question. If you give me 1 second, I will actually look. So, if you want, I can add the design space file in the description after. And like I said, you'll get more triangles than you actually need. I feel like I need something here, but I'm not really sure just yet. I'm wondering if maybe I should have done one more row. Because I went with a larger photograph. Okay, let me just, I will. When you added the 2 diamonds, one on either side, like that. See, I think it's better because it's a little bit wider. Then I'll have to cut 1 more or 2 more, 1 for each side here. I can lift this up. It's not that bad. But I'm thinking that it's because my photo is just bigger. So oh, here we go. I knew I was going to run out. So Cynthia, I'm going to open this up and I'm going to tell you. I want to say it was art philosophy, but I think that that is not correct. And of course, that's not opening right this second. So let's just finish this. And I am going to cut. No, that's fine, I think, actually, with the 4 extras. And I think I might add journaling at the bottom in strips. Okay, there we go. So My iPad will not connect with the internet. 1 second, let me reach behind me. Okay, so I'm still going to do the sequence, but just let me double check, because now that I said that, let me see. Images. Okay, you know what? I will add the I'll add the design space file into the description at the top. And so it will actually, oh, thank you, Brenda. It will actually cut the right number now, because now I used all my triangles. So let's add our sequence and then we're done. So I'm just going to add a few sequins into each of the clusters with glue dots. So here we go. So I have gold, because we use the gold embellishing thread. I'm like right at the end of my gold sequence here, so we're going to see what we got. So I'm just picking out some different sizes and different finishes. So I'll take pictures too, and I'm thinking maybe you're right. It might be Artiste. But like I said, I will add the file into the description. And if you want to cut them, it cuts the heart, which is the free shape, and then the diamond, which I bet you're right. I bet it's Artiste. I can pull it up in front of me at the end. So we will just add a few of these. In our clusters. Ooh, this is like a rogue sequin here. You guys, it like keeps popping off its glue dot. It obviously wants a different glue dot. I'm wondering if these ones at the end here are not sticky. That's very funny. So I'm at the end of the roll and they seem to be giving me a hard time. Now some of them are flying at me. Okay, now the top one. And then I'll open that file. And just one more up there, and it will be that one. So the number of colors, just let me open that up in front of me right now. Okay, so I can still do that. Okay, let's see. So you'll still have to have the shape in order to cut the shape. So, but I will add it up into the description, and just let me see. Okay, here it is. Yep, it's from Artiste. So, and then the file, like I said, it just cuts the, no, it's from Artiste. So it will cut the diamonds. Don't we all, Cynthia? So it'll cut the diamonds, and I'll put the diamonds in the right spot because then the canvas looks the same. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me just see. This might be a lot for my computer process, so hopefully it does not shut me out. So there are 6 different patterns, and I was incorrect. I did not cut 4 of everything, but there are 4 of most of them and 5 of one of them. So like I said, I'll just get the link fixed up there so that the canvas looks half decently pretty, and I'll add it up into the description above. So you just have to have the Artiste cartridge, but it will cut the diamonds the same. And I'll also add in some photographs once we stop having a thunderstorm. I'm so sad we lost the fonts and have all those letters. I'm not sure which fonts you're talking about. You're welcome. So like I said, I will take some pictures and I will add them here after, but I think it turned out pretty good. So like I said, it's not exactly the same as the original. Emily came in to see why I'm talking to myself. So they did some, these are stickers, and I have like a much more solid piece in the middle. When you open the image set, it starts with lots of letters. Design Space is super not user-friendly right at the moment, especially with all the updates going on. It's like hard to keep up with. So I'm not really sure. I'm hoping they're going to stop with it soon. So let's put a little liquid glass, because my glue dot obviously did not stick very well. It probably got stuck down when I moved it around to add another triangle in there. So let's just make sure everything's actually stuck down here. Yeah. Okay. Yes, because it doesn't take up very much paper at all. And so that's what's fun about it, right? Like it's like, I think, a 4-inch strip of paper. So because there's so many papers to choose from, it's super, you get a nice layout with very little paper. And like I said, if you don't want to use the 2 zip strips, you can either cut that down or pick just a piece of paper, right? Or you could use one of the border strips that are in that paper package. So you could, where is it here? So you could use that piece of paper, right? Just at the top and the bottom for the zip strip. Or you could cut up one of these to use in that place too and get both of them out of the one piece of paper. See what I mean by, like, I don't know that you would necessarily want a whole piece of paper, but it makes, like, it's like a supersized zip strip, really. So this was a fun little addition. It's like the back of that stripe, but you could totally use that in place of the zip strip, right? So, okay guys, that's what I've got for you guys today. I will, like I said, assemble the design space so it's not so all over the place. And I'll add that link in the description to the video. So yes, you could use any collection. And like, that's the thing, when I asked the question too, originally we were still in Full Bloom and Cake Day, and both of those would have been great to use for this too, right? So you could use anything. It would actually be super fun with fresh paint too, right? Because they've got so much color. You could have a lot of fun in the background behind with the fresh paint collection too. So, or even Tutti Frutti for that matter, right? The problem with Tutti Frutti is some of the prints on it might not translate as well to the small little diamond shapes. So, but that's why I thought this one was kind of perfect to play with, because it's a little bit bigger collection and you're not using a ton of paper. So that's what I got for you guys today. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.